Hey, hey, sis. I am so excited and grateful for you all. I just looked at my report, and last week's podcast was the most listened to podcast in the first 77 days of publishing. Like, it's far and away been super, super popular. And I just want to say thank you. And it's really just a good indicator of how important this topic is to talk about how to just increase your online dating game. I think a lot of people really are starting to depend on online dating even more and more to find their person. And yeah, so it's just a testimony that that is what we need the most help in. And I want to tell you, like, I have some figures to prove to you that I know what I'm talking about. In 2024 alone, and we're only like right before October, so 2024 isn't even over. But in 2024 alone, three of my clients have gotten married, two of them have gotten engaged, and five of them have started committed relationships. That's crazy. That is totally crazy that in just such a short amount of time, people have transformed their lives and are getting married. I just love it. So, listen, I am here to help you all you want on this podcast. But if you want to go deeper, like, if you want me to work together with you on your dating app game, if you want me to be there for you to pick my brain and to have my brain on your love life, I want to help you. Like, if you love my podcast, then you already kind of have an idea that working with me might be kind of awesome. So I want you to go to my website and or check the show notes and just book a call. The best way to find me right now is to go to christiandatingcoaching.com and look me up. And there will be a link right there for you to book a call, and we can talk and see if this would be a good fit for you to get you the kind of results that my other clients are getting. But in the meantime, I have something really juicy for you today. So today, we're going to be talking about the messages that we send either when we match with a guy or when he sends us a message and then we decide, yeah, I want to talk to him, so you match with him. Like, there's a lot of different ways that dating apps do it, but at the end of it all, you need to send a message. And usually the messages that guys send are pretty boring. So we don't have a whole lot to work with because, like, he just sends a boring message and there's no chemistry, there's no spark, there's nothing like fun about it until you come in. And you can come in and create that funness and that fun chemistry spark that is needed. You're listening to a dating coach. You're listening to a dating expert. You have skills that that poor guy doesn't have. Christian men were not taught how to flirt, and there is very, very few resources for them to learn how to flirt. You have a little bit more experience than them because you've been listening to me, and now you know a few things. So I'm going to help you today how to flex your skills and to start moving the conversation into something more flirty. Now, if you've listened to my previous podcast, you know that I met my now husband online. We actually met on OkCupid. And I remember, like, I had been working with a dating coach and I had been learning a lot about how to talk to men. And so I was like ready. I was ready to be fun and flirty and to get the ball going, creating more chemistry. And I remember talking to Caleb and thinking in my mind, this isn't going anywhere. Like, I remember thinking, he's just not flirting back with me. I'm just not getting it, right? But I kept going. And so I just want to encourage you, like, take my story and use it for yourself. Like, use it for yourself to be the flirty person and to wait and to persevere in being, someone that wants to stay out of the friend zone. I have a method that I use to help my clients with their messaging, and I'm going to show you that method today. And the trick is this: to use a flirt pure technique with every message that you send, especially those first 3 or 4 messages. To use a flirt pure technique. And I'm going to give you examples today and show you how to do that. So, the first flirt pure method that I think of is honey words. It's a really simple one. It's saying something nice to a guy that will make him feel warm inside. Guys don't get a lot of compliments. And so, for you to say something to him that's really genuine and authentic and kind is going to be very meaningful to him. I always recommend that when it comes to honey words, you use something or you mention something that other people might not mention. Sometimes you can't help it because like there's just something so glaring that you want to comment on it. And even though other people have commented on it before, your message will ring really, really strong because it's genuine to you and it's heartfelt, and you're going to find a way to make it unique. So, for example, like sometimes these guys in their profiles, I don't know, I see a lot of profiles because I coach a lot of women. So I see profiles, and something about I always notice there's either a guy who has a really, really great smile or really, really great eyes. And this is what I thought of, like something that I would say, like in a first message, like maybe after you've matched, you could say something like, I am so lost looking into your eyes. Isn't that romantic? Like, that's such a romantic start. Like, I love that. It's so much better than saying something like, you have really nice eyes. Like, obviously, that's what other people are going to say. You're going to say, I am so lost looking into your eyes. The other thing that I've noticed that you can really capitalize on is a lot of guys tend to have pictures of kids in their profiles or family members like grandmas and grandpas and just like all these other people. And I think it's really cool to find a way to comment on that. Like one of the ways that I was thinking of commenting on that is saying something like, you definitely seem like the fun uncle. Now, Caleb is the fun uncle. Like, he loves his nieces and nephews. And I know that if he were to receive a comment like that from a girl, it would be really meaningful for him. And honestly, that is what you are trying to do. You are trying to be meaningful. You are trying to create intimacy. I know a lot of people want to just rush and get off the apps. Trust me. Trust me. It is to your benefit to get as close as you can to a guy on the apps before you go on a date, to create like a rapport and to create some vulnerability and intimacy before you meet. Like, if you are waiting to meet to create intimacy, it will not work. It's too much pressure on a first date. Like, use the messages to create some like charisma between the two of you. Okay, so that's honey words. All right, let's move on to teasing. Okay, a lot of you are a little bit nervous about teasing because you're nice and you're a nice person, and it's not just quite like some women are like super funny and super good at teasing, but I have a few clients that are a little bit nervous about it. And like, the way that I think about teasing is that it's not something that would make a guy feel bad or make him feel embarrassed. It's never that. Never, ever. There's never no reason to make a guy feel embarrassed. That's not what teasing is. Teasing is to make a guy smile, to make him chuckle a little bit. Okay. So, one of the things that I really love is pulling like a bait and switch. So, it's kind of like you're kind of like saying like, hold your horses, partner. And like, so I thought of this one statement, and it's kind of very similar to what I sent Caleb when I first started talking to him. I know we matched. And you could say his name's John. I know we've matched, John, but I just am not sure things will work out between us. I have to ask this one thing. Do you eat ranch dressing with your pizza? I just love that. I love the like confidence of like, oh, I'm not so sure. And like there's one thing I have to ask. And it's just really fun and playful and confident. And you can use that like in anything. Like you could say like do you like pumpkin spice lattes, you could like use it like for something for yourself. And you don't have to go if you don't like the whole story. I'm not sure things will work out between us. Just say like, well, I have to ask you this one thing. Do you like pumpkin spice lattes? Like you can be funny and you can be briefer. You don't have to like pull up bait and switch as much as I did, but just like use a little bit of banter. Like banter is really, really fun. Um, the other thing that I love to kind of like say is just like kind of like the sneaky compliment. So I thought of this line, stop it. You must have been taking handsome pills. Like that's the only way it's possible. And it's just funny. It's just funny. Like you're telling him he's handsome, but you're also being kind of like aloof about it. And, I think a lot of people will say something like, you're so handsome, but this is way better. This is way better. Stop it. You must have been taking handsome pins. That's just the only way. Handsome pills. That's just the only way. So be a little funny, get some playful banter, be humorous. You've got it. And honestly, like just start practicing it. Practice the lines, see how they do. And as you talk to guys, and conversations will flow from these lines. You'll have a little conversation, a little back and forth with these lines. And and that's how like, yeah, this is a guy to keep talking to. All right. So I want you to also use respect and manliness. So I love respect and manliness. Most guys want to feel respected, and they don't have a whole lot of people in their lives that show them respect. You do. You can become that special person to him that gives him, again, like I've talked about before, that feeling that nobody else gives him. You're the source of pleasure to him in a way that nobody else offers. And that's going to make him want to commit to you. So here's a line that I love for respect. I can see that your faith is important to you. I respect you for that. So good. Like if you see this in a profile, say it. Like it doesn't matter if it's the first message. Like all of these messages, you could literally use all of these messages together and one guy. But like when you say this, it starts the conversation and lets him know that faith is important to you. And you're telling him that you respect him is already going to make him feel very, very close to you. I love like commenting on a photo, like so manly, just drop that commenting on a photo, so manly. And then the other thing that I liked this line, I kind of thought of recently. You seem like the type of man other people respect and follow. Oof. Like super chills. Super chills. Like he is going to write you back. Like there is no way he is not going to write you back and take you out to dinner if you send that line to him. All right. And then lastly, I want you energy. I want you energy is the one that most people are afraid of. As Christian women, we're told to be modest, and we want to be modest because God wants us to be modest. But this is a relationship. This is a relationship that is unlike any other relationship. When you get married, marriage is a sexual relationship, and a guy wants to know that that's where this is headed. Like he wants to know that. He doesn't want to think that like, oh, she's just going to be like a ice princess, she's never going to want to have sex. Like let him know like I want you energy. Like that is something that is important for this particular relationship, unlike any other. So you've got to find a way to let him know that you're a virtuous woman, because you are a virtuous woman, but you also are a woman that's gonna want sex when she's married. So you've got to kind of find that balance. And honestly, every man and woman wants to be wanted. They want to be wanted, like by their partner. They want to feel desired by that partner. You're positioning yourself to be that partner. You kind of got to start laying the foundation for this part of the relationship. I 100% want you and encourage you to save sex for marriage. That's the biblical way to do it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And at the same time, you've got to let it be known that you have these desires um, and that they will be fulfilled in marriage. So here's I want you energy, a line that I love. You don't know what your smile is doing to me. Like, and you can end it with like a flame emoji if you want. Like that would just be super, super powerful. And then lastly, I just thought of this really, really fun line. And I know that not everybody likes to talk this way. So I just like put a little conditional before it because I know it's going to be hard for you to say, but here's the line. I'm just going to be brave and say this. You're hot. Oof. Flame emoji. So you're telling him he's hot. You're telling him you're brave, going to be brave and say this. You're showing yourself to be vulnerable, coy, feminine, decorous, like all of those things. I'm just going to be brave and say this. You're hot. Ugh, so good. And like you can use a couple flame emojis too. Like I love a good flame emoji. I love a good winky emoji. Um, Here's one for a winky emoji. Yeah, this is for the brave one. This is for you if you are ready to like take things to the next level and be brave. So you say, "Ooh, the sexy glasses, winky face." Super cute. Super cute, super confident. So I hope these lines were helpful. Again, what I want you to do when you're sending messages is use a flirt pure technique. Start with the easy ones, that whatever is easy for you, start there. But you've got to use a flirt pure technique because otherwise you're going to be sending messages like, oh, you have nice eyes, or yes, I'm having a good day, or yeah, you're really handsome, or thank you. Boring, boring, boring. And like I said before, I really want you to start thinking about these messages that you're sending on dating apps as your opportunity to get intimate, to be playful, to be vulnerable and flirty right away. Don't wait. Don't wait for the date. Don't wait for the phone call. I want you from the very first message to be the siren. You are the siren. It doesn't matter who the guy is. It doesn't matter what the guy gives you. You are a siren. You always show up like a siren and you can draw men in with your seductive, sultry, like provocative and all those beautiful ways that sirens captivate men. And obviously, these words aren't meant to be sexual. They're meant to be as pure as I can say them to be. But at the end of the day, you are a siren who can captivate men. So let's start from the beginning, from the very first message, from the very first conversation, and draw him in and inspire him to commit to you, to take you on a date, and to take you off the market. Let's get you married, sis.